I used to come up here quite a lot, Alexandra Parade. Me and my pram. Fuck, I don't know what I did with that pram. I was gutted. I actually think I took it home and then probably got a hiding off my mum for losing my bike. Taught me a lesson. When I say I don't want to talk about it, I just don't want the people knowing. It's nothing dodgy. Oh yeah, scuba. I'm a qualified scuba diver. If anybody wants a buddy, I'm your man. No, I don't want to talk about that one. People might want to get wide and all that. I mean, we're about to start rolling out with MP3 worldwide, and I think it's 15 or 20 different websites. And let's say there's some guy in Willa Goolagong, wherever in Australia. Is that a town? I don't know. Write to me. Stamped address, yeah. Stamped address envelopes. But the thing is, for guys who are in really remote places, I hope that wasn't racist, by the way. For guys in really remote places, and I get it a lot. I'll get an email and sometimes letters, and they'll be like, "How do I get a copy of this record?" And I honestly can't answer that question. But if I can say, go to this website, you can get it from there. It's got to be a good thing, you know. And exactly, if you going to Moscow, I've never been in Moscow in my life, and they know the words with a Russian accent, but they know the words. You're like, wow, you know, it can only be a good thing, you know. The downside of it is the illegal share filing, the illegal file sharing. Obviously, it's affecting us in a bad way, but legally, it's absolutely positive. Yeah. The thing with producing, if you make the same thing all the time, it can get very boring. You know, it's like any job. If you were just putting numbers in a computer, you get bored and you'd want to do something else. So every now and then, it's nice to have a little play about. Let's see if I can do some trance or whatever. And I've had a lot of negativity about it, and people saying things like, "No, you turn your back in hardcore," or "Scott Brown did this, Scott Brown did that," and it's not a case of that at all. I've got a studio that I spent a lot of time, a lot of years, and a lot of money making it, and it's like, I'm just going to make one thing, and just to keep this tiny little genre of people happy, you know. If I want to make, I love making hardcore, and it's what I want to do, but sometimes it's just a bit too much. You just want to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But when you do that little bit, you're like, right, fuck that, I'm back to doing what I like and love, you know. I had I'd go berserk on Konami's Beatmania, and that was good. It was an interesting experience because it wasn't just giving them a track and saying, there you go. I had to split it out. It took me weeks. I mean, you know the crap I went through, breaking it down into beat for beat, and it was hard work, but I enjoyed it, you know, and more stuff like that. And it's interesting when you get something different in, and it takes away the monotony, and it's like, I'd like to do that, I'd like to do this, you know. And if somebody, I wouldn't even know, but if somebody said something, could you do this, like a film score, could you do a track to this segment, of like, I'll damn well try, you know. Interesting.
How's it been? It's been fun. Yeah, it's been good fun. I've had a wicked time. It's been very funny to do something like this. It's opened my eyes a lot on what a DJ has to go for.
It's like we were talking earlier. I mean, we were talking off camera about all the bollocks. I mean, you couldn't film in the airport. You didn't film the fact that we thought we were going to miss the plane. You couldn't feel the stress. You felt the stress, but people watching couldn't. We thought we were going to miss the plane. We caught the plane. We went to London. I lost the train tickets. We didn't think we were going to get out the train station. Sorry, without didn't think we were going to get out the train station without some crazy heavy fine. We couldn't film it because it was all security in London. There's been so many things happened off camera that people don't appreciate, you know, and we have filmed a lot of shit on camera that's like, whoa, what's going on? Yeah, but from your point, I do it every week, and it's interesting to see your point of view.
To dip in to something like this, it's surreal because Scott is, you know, in the hardcore scene, there's as big as it gets, you know, as a producer and fucking height-wise as well.
I'm tall. I'm a tall guy. You don't realise it, but I'm tall.
But you
get a lot of chin shots.
A lot of clouds in the background. But his stature in the hardcore scene is like, you know, he's up there with, you know, with the best of them. And Kopi from Hyperbase hit it the nail on the head the other night, where I think you walked out from the club lounge where we was in Glasgow, and it was good you walked out because they kind of relaxed.
Well, that's why I wanted
just
to
say,
be.
You want to influence it or them not to like look at you and check what they're saying, but I mean Kopi's quite at the best of times, until he has 50 beers and he's noisy for 40 minutes and then he's asleep.
Alright.
But he was very talkative in front of the camera, and he was like saying, you know, he's got his shoes in the hardcore scene and influence and everything, and it's and he said, but now he's just the mate. You know, there's nothing prima donna about him. He's just, you know, it's exactly.
Cut. Scott Brown is a fucking legend. Yeah. When I was like Smurf, you know, like this. I was jumping on his beats in Holland, all the Evolution records tracks. So yeah. So yeah, and Scott is always in for a good drink. So I think it's pretty cool.
Scott's contribution to the scene. Scott pioneered a sound that has went on for many, many years and made such a big impact in the scene.
Scott should have been.
American Express cared next. Watch this.
Scott Brown track. I became hardcore.
Isn't that anything to do with Hyperbase?
Yeah, I kinda wrote it with him.
Which you wrote all of his own?
Oh no, I think Life or Death's quite good as well. We're dropping this, it's alright. Apart from that, don't really listen to it. The funny story about Scott.
I don't know. We were coming back from, was it Ghent or Maastricht?
The train?
Aye.
Yeah. Yeah, we were on a train in Holland, long journey.
It was like
Drank
6
loads
or
of
7
beers.
hours.
He was hammered. In typical Scott, he's fell off the train.
I fell off the train, my record bag. Records went everywhere and Scott was like howling, laughing at us. But he didn't realise the doors had closed and walked flat out right into the glass doors. And I was lying on the platform wetting myself. He was sort of like took the huff, didn't he? Because we were laughing at him.
No, but you were lying on the platform for ages and we were killing ourselves laughing. You're like, you're right. And then you're like, and then Scott's like, no, I forgot my bag, and he's ran in, and that's when he's coming out. He's walking out. He's walked straight into the door.
Face
and then we're
first.
laughing at him, but he's like,
He took the huff and started like, it's not funny.
It's alright for him to fall off a train.
It was alright because I fell off a train in like Central Station in front of about 2,000 people. It was alright for me, but it wasn't for him to walk into a door.
Yeah.
That was a funny moment with him. Scott's new nickname is Scott Banner. He is now the new Scottish Hulk, courtesy of a 14-year-old fan in the restaurant who thought his name was Scott Banner. So we're expecting him to turn green later on and burst out his clothes.
No, Scott Brown is one of the heroes of Scotland. I've got a lot of respect for Scott Brown. Well, he plays all the heavy hardcore shit, and at the end of his sets he plays all the gabbers, which is good. because it gets all the young kids introduced like a different style. And Scott Brown is good as that. I mean, he's good at what he does, but there's loads of fucking English DJs trying to copy Scott Brown, and at the end of their sets they play some fucking awful fucking gabba shit, and they should be fucking shot. I played the Fantasia the other week, and this guy before me was doing Happy Hardcore, and I was playing gabba after him, like slow new style type thing. And the guy before me tried to play some gabba, and it was the most fucking diabolical waggle I've ever heard in my entire life. So shoot them. Leave the danger to the people who play gabba for real. Doesn't make any sense.
And Scott Brown just mixes the styles from Holland and England and Scotland, of course. And it's good for our scene over here and over there. So.
But just like a homo with his stupid haircut.
Yeah.
Man, the best ever Scott Brown tune is Detonated, and it's fucking banging and it's fucking bouncy, and you just want to fucking rock to it. Scott Brown is a fucking Scottish legend. Never mind fucking William Wallace. Scott Brown is up there at the top people. He's a fucking musical genius. He's sucked his dick. Scott Brown is my fucking hero, by the way, and I've just met him, and I'm pure tingly all over. Evolution Records all the way. Hardcore is never dead, it just fucking moves on. 2007, fucking yes! Scott Brown, plus system, evolutionrecords.net. Be there or be square. Scott Brown is a man.
I think he was dead chuffed that he found someone like me who's down to earth like him, having a laugh and everything like that. It means that he can relax, enjoy himself, think about his set without getting stressed about going to one gig to another gig. So like if he got 3 gigs in one night, he can just relax in the back of the car, have a couple of beers, you know, speak to Jane, his wife, instead of being on his own and trying to think, you know, what he's got to do. So really, yeah, it's a godsend really that we both got to know each other. Can't just believe we live around the corner. I mean, like I said before, he's dead down to earth, and he's willing to help people as well. His music inspires a lot of youngsters as well. As you can see, as you go around the scene, he's getting mobbed, and when people want help or on tracks or everything, people send him down to him. He is a big person on the scene at the moment.
Notorious things I've heard about Scott Brown. Well, basically a few times I've been to Holland with Scott. He's a bit of a connoisseur of arts and craft and all that. He knows everything. He takes me to all these dodgy places, and then we get wrecked on Flugel. Flugel was the best thing Scott Brown ever taught me. So just drink it, see what happens.
Right, I've got plenty of stories I can tell about him, and I've had plenty of experiences. It's wicked. We always tour together. We tour Australia together, and it really works well because in the club, you know, I come on at a certain tempo, build it up to a tempo, then he takes off from where I leave. So it always works well. So we get to tour a lot, and we've had some pretty mad ones. One of the ones which I'll get a right up about, but never mind. We were on a plane to Ireland. We sat in the plane, and there was a life vest under the seat. And Scott thought it'd be a fucking good idea to put it in my bag. So anyway, I was like, fucking whatever, what do we want that for? And he was like, be brilliant, we'll get to the hotel room, put it on, fucking set it off. So I was still a little bit like, well, I don't know, walked off the plane, walked down to get our luggage. I get a tap on my shoulder with a pretty big looking Irish police officer stood there asking me to follow him. So I walked over and got told I was being charged with endangering life, something under the Terrorism Act, and something fucking else. And all because of fucking Scott. But luckily, it went quiet. I think I got away with it anyway, but I've got to be really fucking honest. We both fucking shit it because he did explain how serious it was. Because of what goes on here, I went on in America and all that, they take it all quite fucking seriously now. Thank you, Scott. So yeah, it was a little bit fucking scary, but there you go, it's one of them things. Describe Scott in a few words. I don't know, he's wicked. You know, he is cool, mate. Luckily, there's some people in this scene that say it did all stop. I don't think it's going to, but there's some people I still stay in touch with, and I've grown up with him. So I don't know, he's cool, man. He's cool. I like him. So if I can describe him, I call him in one word. I call him a FUD. F-U-D.
Bloody hell, right, I tell you what. You know, there's a few DJs out there that are pretty much like us all. We're a bit of a character. We do crazy things, but Scott Brown's got to be one of the most ruthless crazy characters in the scene, to be fair. He has got up to quite crazy things in his time as a DJ. I'm not going to say anything because I wasn't there. I know some stories, but I'm damn sure that other people will say all about the crazy side of Scott Brown.
Notorious stories about Scott Brown. Where do we begin? Notorious or just plain stupid? Just plain stupid? Alright. I remember when we were touring in Australia one time and we went scuba diving and we were on a boatload of Japanese tourists. And, oh man. No, I can't even finish the story really because you had to be there. We filmed something on the camera and it's got this morphing effect on his video camera, which means you can change faces and stuff. And there was about 150 Japanese tourists on board and we'd filmed a little bit of footage of our faces. We were so drunk by the end of the day that we were just absolutely cracking up laughing about his faces. This is boring, isn't it? And by the time we docked, the whole boat was in absolute stitches because of us two falling around the deck laughing. But seriously, get the footage of him and put it on this video, then you'll know what we're talking about. I think that's the best way to explain it. All the rest of them I can't repeat.
Scott Brown to me is a big blonde ball of love, and I love him, and I want his children, and I want his studio, but he won't let me anywhere near it, and for good reason, because I'd probably jizz him all over everything. Bada bada bing.
Everybody says that. What notorious stories we heard about Scott Brown? Well, Scott Brown, he grew up a couple of miles up the road from me in Cumbernauld, and I lived in Moodiesburn. And at high school, I used to go about with one of my friends, and everybody at school called him Big Psycho. He got called Big Psycho because somebody was pissing him off at school, and he stuck a pencil in their face. So he's a bit crazy, so you need to watch him. Scottish people are all unfucking-hinged.
Well, I've had so many times with Scott MCing for him and stuff, and he's always wrecked, always wrecked. And to give a particular story is every time he's had a few beers, he likes to play it a little bit harder. So when he's pissed, I know that I'm in for a dark side warrior. So that'll be Mr. Brown.